Hello everybody, this is Charu, founder of online magazine womenlines.com. Today we are having somebody very special with us. She is addressed as communication guru of 21st century. She has received highest awards in professional speaking industry. She is in the list of top 21 speakers for 21st century by Successful Meeting magazine. And she is the author of 48 books. It's such a pleasure to have Dianna Booher at Women Lines. Hi, Dianna.
Hello.
Women Lines. How are we doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
So, my first question, Dianna, how did you started with Booher research?
Well, actually, it's not a very glamorous story. I was just looking for a way to make a living. I didn't start out as a professional writer or a professional speaker, but my husband was struggling with severe mental depression, and I was teaching school. I had toddlers, 2 young toddlers, and I figured out I had to make a living for us. So I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said, how am I going to make a living? He said, well, what do you enjoy? And I said, well, I used to like to write English compositions back in school. And he said, well, I suggest you find a way to do that and get paid for it. So I went to the library, I checked out all these books on how to write greeting card verses and murder mysteries and romance and novels and business books, and went home and really read around the clock to find out about the publishing industry and taught myself how to write. And I was talking with a friend, and he said, hey, we teach a lady big bucks to come in here and teach our corporation how to do technical reports, etc. So I put together a proposal, sent it out, and got an agent, and sold my first book on actually business writing and a novel at the same time. Went back and got my master's degree in writing, so I would really know what I was doing. And that's how I got started. Corporations started calling. My publisher sent me on a author tour across the United States, being on TV shows, and corporations started calling and saying, can you come out and teach us and teach our engineers and our scientists and our accountants how to write? And then, I started broadening into presentation skills and customer service communication, leadership communication, etc.
Very inspirational. So how do you think improving communication skills can be a big factor in every woman's career advancement? Can you just highlight something about it?
Well, I think it's key to any career, because if you think about it, communication is the basic business act. Nothing happens until somebody communicates about it. I mean, you can do a great job at whatever you do, whether it's finances or marketing or sales, but at some point you have to communicate your message to someone else. You can't just do your job over in the corner and nobody knows about it. So at that point that you stand up in a meeting and tell some executive what you want them to do or what you've been doing, at that point, people understand your value and what you're really contributing to the organization. And that's when things get done. That's when your career becomes very visible to other people.
So it should be crisp communication, or what tip you want to give to women folk, what they should take care of during that communication?
It should be very persuasive. And I think people make the mistake in that they think persuasive is very aggressive and very in your face. But that's not really what persuasion is. Persuasion is just persuading someone to change their mind or change their heart or make a decision that you want. You're persuading them to take a certain action. And the way you persuade basically is to be credible, to be confident of what you're saying, to be sure of your facts and be accurate in your facts, to be selecting the right kind of information that you want to give, the information that a person needs to make a decision. So all of those things contribute to how persuasive you are.
Good. So my third question was how to be persuasive without sounding persuasive. So these tips are really wonderful. So can you give some more tips on how we can be persuasive without sounding persuasive?
Yeah, it comes across many times as part of your personal presence. When you have personal presence, that makes people want to believe you and want to trust. That's almost like getting to first base. When you have presence, executive presence, personal presence, people assess you very, very quickly, and they decide whether they want to believe you. If people don't believe you at the very beginning, they give no credence to your facts. They pay no attention to what you're trying to get them to do. So they go hand in hand in being persuasive. That trust. Do you have confidence? How do you look? How do you come across? How well do you think on your feet? How do you structure your messages? The way you think comes across by the way you are organized as you speak. And all of that lends itself to the perception of your being persuasive.
Great tips. So what's most exciting for you right now in your coaching field?
Well, right now, since I've sold my training company the last few years, I have focused on helping other people get their message out. And that is either through book coaching or coaching them personally, coaching women, men, both in leadership positions on how to shape a message and how to increase their leadership presence. So it's one-on-one coaching and then book coaching. Many times people realize to increase their presence, they need to write a book. A lot of consultants need to increase their credibility and their value by putting their writing, putting their thoughts in a book. And so I'm doing book coaching and personal presence coaching.
Okay, that's a good point. Writing a book. I mean, you are suggesting everybody to write a book to prove their credibility. Is it?
Yes, it builds credibility for their organization. When a CEO or a C-suite executive puts their thoughts down about a new process or a new product, it's much more valuable than an ad. Just like when someone gets on TV, if they're a major anchor person in a news show or they have a magazine, that lends credibility. And a book obviously lends credibility.
Great point.
It's published by a major publisher, yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. So yes, now we all are excited for the upcoming webinar by Leadership Demystified webinar. Pooja Talesra is the founder of LD Webinars, and we all are really excited and looking forward for that. So can you share what will be the top 3 takeaways for the participants from the webinar?
Well, one, they will be more persuasive after they listen to this, because I'm going to be talking about how to structure a message. They'll learn to think on their feet when they get asked a challenging question, and they'll also increase their personal presence by some of those tips that I will be talking about.
Fantastic. So it will be more about the persuasive skills, and they will be getting tips about how to have their executive presence. And what else you want to highlight a little more? What else will be there at the webinar?
We'll also be talking about how to share negative messages when you have to give bad news and you don't want to destroy the relationship, but you have to give bad news. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about email and how to reduce the clutter that you have in your email box.
That's very important, and everybody should be learning about this, because this can really help a lot in building up connections, establishing relationships in a better way.
Yes, and reducing that clutter, improving your productivity through the way you communicate, those communication habits.
Friends, do check out details at Women Lines. We'll be sharing all details, and do check out for the interview, the written interview from Dianna. And thank you so much, Dianna, for your time. It was a pleasure speaking to you. All the best for your bright future. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.